Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel Psychology Point. Today we are talking about the psychology of people who constantly need attention. Let's start. You've probably seen a video like this. Someone holding a smartphone, tears streaming down their face as they record an emotional breakdown. But the moment their finger hits stop, the tears vanish, and their face instantly drops into a blank, neutral stare. This is a modern phenomenon known as sad fishing. It is the act of exaggerating or outright faking emotional struggles online, specifically to manipulate followers for sympathy. We see similar dynamics offline, particularly in the workplace. Take the turkey archetype, a colleague who constantly complains and feigns helplessness to monopolize the team's sympathy and avoid accountability. On the opposite end of the spectrum is the peacock, the coworker who aggressively brags and overshadows everyone else to secure constant recognition and validation. Tribal connection is a basic human survival instinct, but when we look at these behaviors, we see a misfire. The psychology of attention seeking. The normal evolutionary desire to be noticed mutates into a destructive compulsion for attention. The roots of this behavior often trace back to childhood, forming what psychologists call an approval-seeking schema. This develops when caregivers prioritize social desirability, how well a child fits in, over that child's authentic needs. As a result, these children grow into adults without an internal compass. Because they rely entirely on external validation, their moods and sense of self-worth fluctuate wildly depending on how others react to them. When you place an individual with a hollow internal schema into the hyper-connected environment of social media, the need for validation accelerates. This animated chart plots data from a study published in BMC Psychology, mapping the likelihood of a person engaging in sad fishing against their mental health metrics. As you can see, when the severity of anxiety and depression rises and physical, real-world social support drops, sad fishing behaviors spike. Engaging in sad fishing often relies on denial as a coping mechanism, allowing users to avoid confronting their actual pain. Sometimes it's fueled by intoxication, which lowers inhibitions and triggers impulsive, emotionally charged posts designed to generate a quick rush of digital sympathy. But those likes and comments are fleeting because the validation comes from a screen, failing to resolve the underlying emotional void and trapping the user in a perpetual cycle of attention seeking. Severe psychiatric disorders. When the need for attention solidifies into rigid pathology, we enter the realm of severe psychiatric disorders. Take histrionic personality disorder (HPD), where an individual feels completely unvalued if they are not the absolute center of attention. Patients with HPD completely lack insight into their own condition. Psychologists describe the disorder as egocentric, meaning the individual genuinely believes they're exaggerated. Theatrical emotional displays are entirely normal behavior. Early psychoanalysts like Wilhelm Reich studied these extremes, understanding these dramatic behaviors as character armor. Deeply ingrained defense mechanisms constructed to shield the mind from severe internal conflict. Move to the ultimate extreme of the attention spectrum, and the actions become physically dangerous. This is factitious disorder, historically known as Munchausen syndrome. Individuals with factitious disorder carry out severe, deceptive actions to appear sick. They will actively falsify their own medical records or deliberately contaminate laboratory tests to trick doctors. They inflict literal, physical harm on themselves, which includes injecting their bodies with bacteria, taking unnecessary blood thinners, or aggressively seeking out massive surgeries, purely to adopt the sick role. The defining paradox of factitious disorder is the total absence of external payoff. There is no financial reward or lawsuit to win. The extreme self-harm is driven entirely by an overwhelming psychological need to receive clinical care. The cost of performance and the path forward. Whether it's a fabricated selfie or a falsified medical chart, all attention-seeking behaviors share a tragic irony. The manipulative pursuit of connection directly causes a breakdown of trust, leaving peers emotionally exhausted and detached. How to respond? If you encounter these behaviors in your everyday life, the most effective response is to establish firm boundaries while maintaining empathy. You acknowledge and validate the person's underlying distress. But you carefully avoid feeding their theatrical performance with excessive attention or sympathy. The psychological solution. For the person struggling with an approval schema, the solution requires a deliberate shift. They have to stop working to secure external validation and begin the hard work of building a solid, self-sustaining internal self-worth. External applause cannot fill an internal void. True human connection does not come from a curated performance. It requires the courage of authentic vulnerability. Did this video change how you see attention seeking? In yourself or in someone you know? Drop a comment if it gave you a new perspective, and share it with someone who needs to understand this. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.